Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. I want you to think about your daily routine. Can you, right now, recall the phone numbers of your closest loved ones? Or, be honest, is it your Wi-Fi password that comes to mind first?
Or your Netflix login.
Exactly. And here's the real kicker. What is the very last thing you touch before you fall asleep at night?
For almost everyone now, that's going to be a screen, a glowing rectangle. We're living in this time of just constant cognitive assault, really. We're fighting against this information overload every single hour.
And it creates this paradox, right? We're connected to everything all the time, but we feel totally disconnected from ourselves.
Mm. And if you've been feeling that, the difficulty focusing, feeling just drained by the end of the day, forgetting little things, that's not a personal failure.
It's a symptom.
It is. It's a side effect of the way modern life is engineered. And that brings us to the core question for this deep dive. Are we using technology, or has the script been flipped? Is technology now using us?
So our mission today isn't to say, throw away your phone. That's just not realistic.
No, of course not. Instead, we're going to identify these four silent digital villains that have sort of crept into our brains. We call them the four digital horsemen.
And if you see yourself as the hero of your own story, these are the enemies you have to see clearly before you can actually take back control. Okay, let's unpack this.
The signs of this infiltration are, well, they're everywhere. Our sources point to these moments we all know, like think about eating a meal with friends.
Oh, I know this one.
Everyone's there at the table, physically, but mentally, they're just scrolling.
Right, you look up, you share a laugh for a second, maybe take a photo for Instagram, and then boom, all heads are right back down looking at the screen.
And then when you leave, what do you feel? There's this strange, deep emptiness.
Yeah, you're full of food, but the experience itself feels like it had no substance, no nutritional value.
That's the perfect analogy. It's fast food for the soul, and this emptiness, it goes way beyond just social gatherings. It's in our most critical life moments.
Okay, like what?
Well, think about a big decision, a career change maybe, or where to live. What is your first almost unconscious reflex?
I know mine is to open a new tab. Immediately.
You open Google. You look for advice. You see what's trending. You see what other people are doing. You don't sit still and ask yourself what you feel first.
So we're essentially outsourcing our own intuition.
That's it. That is the exact moment the brain starts ceding authority. We're confusing access to data with actual wisdom. We're not just letting Google find facts. We're letting it do the weighing of those facts against our own values.
But hold on, isn't some of that just efficiency? Like if I'm choosing a doctor, I should be looking at data and reviews, right? I should be ceding authority to experts. Where's the line?
That's the core conflict. The line is about the internal process. Ceding authority isn't using GPS to find the doctor's office. It's letting an algorithm decide if your health concern is even worth worrying about in the first place.
I see.
The destructive kind of delegation is what leaves you feeling completely overwhelmed after hours online. Your head is heavy, you're tired, but you realize you haven't gained a single piece of profound insight into your own life.
That feeling is devastating. And it really sets the stage perfectly for these four perpetrators we need to talk about.
What's fascinating here is how clearly defined they are. They don't just distract you, they each attack a very specific cognitive function that you need for independent thought.
Okay, let's start with the one that makes us all feel so anxious, like we're constantly behind.
The first horseman is the digital deluge. This is just the sheer crushing volume of information. The sources put it in perspective. A person in, say, the 17th century might have encountered the amount of information in one small book over their entire lifetime.
And we get that much before breakfast.
Every single day. We have the Library of Alexandria in our pocket, but our brains are the same biological hardware from thousands of years ago. We're not built for this. We're just drowning.
And that deluge creates this constant low-level anxiety, this feeling that you never know enough, that you're always missing out.
And because we're always consuming, the brain never gets a pause. That pause is where the magic happens. It's where you turn raw data into understanding. True learning, long-term memory, that happens when we step away from the input.
So if you're always performing, consuming, sharing, reacting, you're actually starving your brain of the time it needs to get wiser. It's like you know where to find an answer, but you never actually possess the answer inside you.
Precisely. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You just feel bloated and sick, but your body can't turn any of it into actual nutrition. You're just racking up intellectual debt.
And that debt, that anxiety, it feeds right into the second villain, doesn't it? Digital distraction.
It does. This is all about the constant fragmentation of our attention. The notifications, the infinite scroll. It's all designed to break our focus.
We've all been there. You sit down to do some deep work and a notification pops up. You think, I'll just check it for 30 seconds.
And when you come back, minutes have passed, and you've completely lost your train of thought. Your focus has been shattered into 100 tiny pieces.
I think we often forget what this distraction is actually replacing. You know, those quiet moments, waiting in line, riding the bus.
The breathing room.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was the time your brain used to connect ideas, to have a quiet insight, to just be.
Now, every single one of those gaps is instantly filled by a screen. We have systematically eliminated boredom from our lives. We've eliminated rest.
And that's deeper than just productivity. You've mentioned before that this is often about running away from something inside ourselves.
Absolutely. The sources are clear on this. We often reach for the phone, not because there's something urgent, but because we feel a flicker of discomfort, a little bit of anxiety, restlessness. The phone is the quickest escape.
It's a reflex to numb ourselves.
It is. And technology just feeds that reflex, training us to be, frankly, afraid of our own quiet internal state.
Which brings us neatly to the third horseman, digital dementia.
And this isn't about aging. This is about the skills we're losing. It's the erosion of our own cognitive abilities because we've outsourced them to our devices.
And we do it all day, every day. GPS for directions, calendars for our schedule, Google for every random fact.
The contacts list for every phone number.
Right. I bet you still remember your childhood best friend's landline number.
Of course, because I had to dial it, I had to write it down, memorize it. The memory muscle got a workout.
But you probably don't know the number of the person you text every single day. That muscle is shrinking because it's never used.
It's the perfect analogy. We're taking intellectual elevators for every cognitive task. If you always take the elevator, your leg muscles atrophy. We're doing the exact same thing to our brains. The moment that device is gone, a huge part of your functional memory disappears with it.
And that leads to the final and maybe the most dangerous horseman, the one that really hits our ability to be independent. Digital deduction.
Yes. Digital deduction is our tendency to immediately look for external opinions. What do other people think? What does the AI say? What's trending? We do that before we even ask ourselves.
This goes beyond just productivity or memory, doesn't it? This is about our identity.
It is. You start to lose the connection to your own critical thinking. And the scary part is, you can get to a point where you genuinely can't tell. Is this my own original thought? Or am I just repeating something I saw in a 30-second clip online?
An idea you just absorbed without even realizing it.
And when you surrender that internal authority, you're letting algorithms decide what you should believe, what you should support. You are outsourcing your ability to reason. You're handing over the highest human dignity, which is the power of thought itself.
Wow. So when you put them all together, the deluge, the distraction, the dementia, and the deduction, it really is this coordinated attack on our inner freedom. But the good news is, just seeing them, just naming them is half the battle.
It is. Once you can identify the villains, you're not on autopilot anymore. You can actually choose not to be controlled by them.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Let's pivot to the actionable steps. This isn't about becoming a hermit. It's about intentional design.
Exactly. Technology is like fire. It can cook your food or it can burn your house down. The goal is to use it to increase wisdom, not let it steal your freedom. And our sources have 4, let's call them, superhero training tips.
I like that. What's tip number 1?
Create a technology-free oasis.
Meaning?
Dedicate at least 30 minutes every single day. No technology, no phone, no screen, no headphones, just you.
And the goal isn't to solve all your life's problems in that time.
No, not at all. The goal is just to be present, to connect with your breath, your body, the quiet thoughts that come up. It's giving your mind a place to rest, to dock the ship, and let those deeper cognitive processes happen.
Okay, that's doable. Tip 2 is about filtering, right?
Mute the noise, keep the signal. This means you have to get ruthless. Do an audit of your phone. Turn off every single non-essential notification.
The ones that aren't from an actual human trying to reach you?
Precisely. Leave the pointless group chats, the ones you're in out of FOMO, and set fixed times to check your email. Don't let your inbox run your day. You're moving from being reactive to being responsive.
You decide when the world gets your attention, not the other way around. I like that. Okay, what about rebuilding those atrophied muscles?
Tip 3. Rebuild memory and thinking muscles. Treat your brain like a gym. Before you instantly Google something, just wait. Give your brain 60 seconds to try and recall it on its own.
Give it a fighting chance.
Yes, and practice memorizing something important again. A phone number, a code. And do the same for critical thinking. When you see a complex issue online, force yourself to write down your own thoughts for 2 minutes before you dive into the comment section.
Use it or lose it.
You will absolutely lose it if you don't use it.
And the final tip, this one feels like the most important.
Tip 4. Reserve important decisions for yourself. When you face a truly crucial life choice, make a commitment to ask yourself first before anyone or anything else. What is truly important to me right now?
And maybe, what would I choose if I wasn't afraid of what other people would think?
That is the core of it. Every decision you make from that place of self-awareness, rather than from an algorithm's suggestion, it slowly changes the entire direction of your life. It rebuilds the authority you've ceded to the machine.
This flips the whole narrative. It's not, why am I so weak? It's, I am the architect of my own attention.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you have to remember you aren't weak or broken. You are living in an era where your attention is the most valuable commodity on Earth, and it is under a constant sophisticated attack. Seeing these 4 villains is the key to taking back your freedom.
And the prize for that is, well, it's your own independent mind.
Your brain is the most complex machine known to humanity. It deserves to be protected and used for something higher than just unconscious scrolling.
So what does this all mean? We've identified the enemy, we've laid out the training plan, the power is back in your hands.
And we want to leave you with one final question to think about. If your brain is your single most valuable asset, the CPU, for your whole life, are you really protecting it? Or are you just handing it over to any app that has the most addictive design?
The good news is, by making these small changes, less distraction, more presence, more independent thought, that quiet, capable superhero inside you starts to awaken. And technology becomes what it was always meant to be. Your tool, not your master. Maybe the first step is just making sure your phone isn't the last thing you touch tonight.